education, we're going to be able to bring diversity not just among disciplines, but regional diversity, international diversity, and we're going to be able to create groups that work on projects together, even across language barriers in the future, I believe. I believe that the software and computers will work that out. I don't just believe it, I've been trying it for years. Okay, we're not there yet, but we're getting there. And I'm going to save Eon to run the 3Ds for you and show you the cool stuff there. But the point of these slides is that this is reality today. This isn't when I was talking about this kind of stuff in 2001, it was like, it'd be cool if somebody did. Well, somebody did. And Auronya's partnering with that somebody, and they're going to take it to the next level, and that's why I went to 3 hours. Back to my slide on Dr. Khanna. What's she doing? As a doctor, she decided that technology could be used in Loyola. She's up at Loyola in Chicago in her medical school to help train doctors across the world working together collaboratively, and through the 3D modelization, they could dissect and work on the eye and commit surgery to the eye to solve, by example, blindness or other maladies of the eye. But importantly, it also allows experimentation, but not on the human subject. Because who wants to be the first eye transplant patient? You'd rather be the 10,000th. But this kind of technology allows us in this Education 4.0 to serve Industrial Revolution 4.0, really cool stuff. Finally, you can't have a 4.0 discussion if you don't throw in the word Bitcoin and blockchain. Just not possible. If you do it, everyone's saying you forgot to say Bitcoin and blockchain. So I thought I would say Bitcoin and blockchain. There, I've said it 3 times. But what can you do with it with education? I'm setting up a program in risk at Texas A&M, about 60 faculty to come on board. Each has about 4 degrees, some 5. That's about 300 degrees that need to be validated at about anywhere from $30 to $40 to, I think Stanford's now charging him $100 a pop. About 60 faculty. Oh, but we have applicants, and all their degrees have to be validated. And so let's say we have 200 applicants and times 2 degrees each, because it's a master's program, and so on. Wouldn't it be more efficient? Wouldn't it be, if only there was something that was blockchain so I could validate it against, before I knew it was legitimate, and I didn't have to go through this. Believe it or not, at institutions we still send pieces of paper physically, almost like with a wax watermelon stamp, from one institution to another institution. If it wasn't received that way, not authentic. I bet blockchain could solve that one for us with digital badging. And that was my talk. Thank you very kindly. I hope to stimulate some conversation. Please come talk to us at the dinner afterwards. Innovation, disruption, Texas A&M. Thank you.
The process of innovation is really a journey of exploration with the human in mind, as you rightly said. Thank you so much, sir, for that inspiring speech, and we look forward to listening to you more often at Auronya. The fast-paced, globalized world needs adaptive minds to move across disciplines by facing challenges with inventive, holistic, and humanistic solutions. It is said that at the heart of every family tradition is a meaningful experience. In a land known for strong, continuing family value systems, Mr. Mayur Abhaya Shrishimal creates his own path of success. With a master's in technology from Anna University, India, Prishimal to showcase the School of Social Sciences.
Thank you very much for that opportunity. We deal in the world of stem cells, and therefore we deal with babies. And India is the world's largest birthing country. And very soon, India is going to be the world's largest population. And which is why I'm very excited that when we are in the fourth industrial revolution, so much of technology change that is happening, if you can provide the education that can prepare people for the future, we can have the maximum impact globally, and we'll have the maximum impact for society. And with that, I'm happy to present the School of Social Sciences at Auronya. The first department is actually the Department of Psychology, and because of these transformative times that we live in, it's fast, it's interconnected world that we in, our attention spans are so much lesser. Communication is less than 140 words. Media and ads today are shrunk down to less than 6 seconds. And all of that is leading to actually a social problem of depression. And the amount of screen time that we spend, even hours together in a day on all the social channels, and that's also leading to obesity. Depression and obesity are going to be the single largest diseases in the world, even overtaking cancer and even cardiac problems. And here the Department of Social Psychology is going to help people deal with the problems of health and behavior with the technology change that's going to come about. And then is the Department of Sociology. The biggest impact that the fourth industrial revolution can make is to the society. Today, the boundaries are not our state boundaries, our national boundaries, but for example, Facebook is the world's largest country today. 1.8 billion people. But the way the Facebook is being used today, it's more for promotion of self-pride, and the biggest problem that's having is it's leading to a lack of self-esteem. And clearly there are many other issues to be dealt with, the biosecurity, cybersecurity, digital security. And what the Department of Sociology will help is to prepare the minds of the future to deal and promote the values of humanity, which is the values of compassion, love, and humility. And then there is the Department of International Law. There is rapid globalization. Companies are being formed, but very quickly going international. Rapid globalization has also led now to people to think of protectionism, to change their trade laws, but that's not going to stop the world. A lot of countries are setting up their own international arbitration centers. India too has announced one. So the hope is that the Department of International Law will prepare minds to deal with the international trade issues. And then is the School of Department of Education, and that's even more important because as we deal with the future, it's more important the energy that is fueling the future is coming from the educators themselves. There's so much of change that's happening in the Department of Education, especially led by the change in technology, the systems, and the curriculum has to change along with that. The delivery mechanisms have to change along with that. And hopefully the Department of Education will provide the leadership for the future in this space. And then is the Department of Public Health. And here the issue is to prepare minds to deal with the problems that we will have in public health in the next 5 to 10 years that are emerging. Obesity, especially even childhood obesity, how do we tackle those kind of problems? Antibiotics have extended the life span of us for decades, but now there's a huge problem, antibiotic resistance. How do we tackle those issues? Aging, we adding up more and more aging population in the world. How do we deal with that as a society? And with so much of technological adoption, how the people who deliver the health, the doctors, the nurses, how are they adapting to it? How is it going to remove the inequality in the delivery of health and provide and improve the quality? So this department is going to help prepare the students to deal with these kind of issues. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that exquisite presentation. From being addressed by Tim Cook, CEO and MD of Apple, in a keynote global address, to winning numerous prestigious awards, the tagline of 3D4M says it all. We build the world's best medical software platforms to transform organizations around the globe. With over 12 unique to offer, we have the cream of the organization showcasing the presentation. John Moore, CEO, Niall Johnston, co-founder, and Shane McGuire, CFO. And Ireland. Unfortunately, he could not join us due to hospitalization in Ireland. Niall Johnston, seasoned management executive with extensive experience nationally and internationally in both hardware services and software industries. Quickly turning a loss-making venture into a profitable one. While running Season Technology, Niall met John Moore and they went on to form 3D4 Medical in 2005. We are also joined by the CFO, Mr. I now request Mr. Niall Johnston to showcase 3D4M.
Thank you, everybody. Glad to. My name is Niall Johnston. I'm a co-founder of 3D for Medical. Delighted to be here as the guest of Auronya College. We're an Irish technology company and have been focused on developing education software, primarily in the anatomy area, for the last 10 years. And I want to showcase some of what we've done, tell you a bit about our company, and talk about the future. Well, first of all, I wanted to thank Auronya for having us here. It was, they've made us feel very, very welcome. Yesterday was my birthday. And thank you, not that big a deal. I did not get one birthday cake, I got two. So they were very generous and I wanted to obviously thank them. And we have a common vision of how technology can help in education. And really it's around the theme that, you know, a kid who's from rural Ireland, where I'm from, or from rural India, should have access to the same world-class tools in education. Essentially create a scenario whereby we will deliver both the technology and the subject matter experts to deliver that for future medical professionals, which will ultimately improve healthcare. That's the idea. But first, I wanted to give you a quick overview of who we are. So I'm going to play a video for a couple of minutes. I think things changed over the years. We had some significant investment in it about 2 years ago that really allowed us to concentrate on something bigger, something with more gravitas. And that's what I wanted to show you. It's a product called Complete Anatomy. And in fact, it's more than a product, it's a platform. On one side of it, it is an electronic anatomical atlas that is the most sophisticated, the most medically accurate in the world. And then the other side of it is probably even more interesting because it brings together experts in their field and allows people to create a curriculum and ultimately push that curriculum to a student. So as you can see, we're very visual, right? We're big into interactivity and visualization. So I'm going to take you through another couple of videos and we'll go from there. Did I get that right? Sorry, one thing I meant to say, we actually have a completely separate side of our business, which is clinical, and that's all around patient education. But for the purposes of this discussion, we're going to show you some of the features of Complete Anatomy. So look at this. This is a book, right? For hundreds of years, with the exception, of course, of cadaveric dissection or prosection, this is how people learned anatomy in the sense that this is all they had as a resource. Very, very straightforward, very linear. But as we all know, you know, the body, as complex and beautiful as it is, it's very difficult to learn it in 2D and in a linear format. So I want to show you this short video. And watch how this works. Look at the interoperability, the ability for somebody to touch the hand, to navigate it, to turn it around, to turn on and off systems. The higher level of learning. It's not about repetition and memorization of pathologies. And of course, the ability to isolate individual structures. So that's what we're doing. Obviously a very, very small example, but you see the point. And imagine that on a far higher level with the 6,500 anatomical structures we highlight within our platform. So we've got three sort of products here. They're all for sale, by the way. Most of the stuff that you saw, with the exception of a very small piece of the video, is for sale today in the Indian market as well as every other market around the world. It started with Essential Anatomy about 4 years ago. That's the best-selling medical app of all time. It still staggers me that that application is typically in the top 4 or 5 in all of the app stores around the world. And it's not because we promote it, we don't. We promote its big brother, Complete Anatomy, which is far more sophisticated. But Essential Anatomy has this massive audience of users who have continued to market it on our behalf. It's got more than 1 million user sessions on a monthly basis. That's a big number. So this is Complete Anatomy. This is the platform I spoke of. And again, a video, and I want you to just watch it and enjoy it. Graduate curriculum for allied health. That includes more than 300 recordings, 300 screens, and I don't know how many quizzes. And it manifests itself in 75 individual lectures. So what that means is that a faculty can take all of that content and push it directly to their students. They can also adapt it and take whatever portions of that they want, include their own, make it completely customizable, bring in some of their own assets or the way that they've traditionally taught, and merge that and push it to a student body. We've used subject matter experts that are leaders in their field, PhDs in anatomy education from Stanford, Ohio State, and various other very fantastic universities, primarily in the US. By the end of the year, we'll have a complete curriculum for medical schools. By the middle of the summer, we'll have complete histology lectures, cadaveric images, radiology, to name a few. And again, with subject matter experts that are unparalleled. A little bit of information on the company. Leading people in their field. I'll highlight a couple of them. Dr. Peter Abrahams, or Professor Peter Abrahams. He's probably the most published anatomist in the world. He's done an extensive amount of work with Elsevier. He's working on an entire library of clinical correlates, which will be done by the end of the year. Dr. Joe Zistang, Harvard Medical School. He's the Dean of Education there. He still practices in internal medicine in Boston. Professor Steve Graves. Professor Graves runs the Australian Joint Registry. It's probably more on the clinical side of our business, but obviously everything in healthcare is about outcomes, and we care deeply about that. I want to show you something of the future. So this is not something that we have today, but you can get an idea of the area of the marketplace we're going into. Can't make any formal announcements, but we should have some really interesting news in the next month or so. Everything that you saw there at the very end is already done. The issue for us is not the software, it's actually the hardware. We've integrated into Microsoft HoloLens and done some stuff with the Oculus Rift. But we haven't decided on a platform yet. And we're waiting for some other players in the marketplace to reveal their hand and launch some of the technologies, whether it be Magic Leap or Caste or Apple, and then ultimately build or release a product around that. But it's a really interesting space for us and one that we're absolutely committed to. The last thing I wanted to say is this is my first trip to India. Never been here in my life. And it's not what I expected. It's far better, far greater, far more professional. I wanted to thank you. This event did not happen by accident, and the professionalism that everybody I've met here is, quite frankly, astounding. And I wanted to thank you for your graciousness. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nyal and Mr. McGuire, for being with us today and for giving us a glimpse into the immense contribution of 4D, 3D, 4M into medical education. And post signing of the MOU with Auronya College, we hope to see
I'd like to thank Niall and Shane for coming down from US and Ireland, and I'm very pleased to announce that we signed the MOU with 3D4M. We're going to be constructing a think space, a research and development lab for not just 3D for medical, but 3D for education, augmented reality for education. Auronya School of Research and Intelligence firmly believes that research and development is the essence of education. Department of Research will look into industry research and academic research. And one of the concepts we have come at Auronya is called think spaces, where instead of going to the industry, asking for research and development, we are asking the industry to come at Auronya campus. We'll be happy to provide you research and development labs. Come work with our faculty and students. Let us experience and create using the technologies that you have. Department of Intelligence will look into sports analytics, biomechanics, another field that is coming up very rapidly in the world. Sports is now being run based on technology. Reality-based intelligence, students at Auronya will experience global immersions. They'll travel the world. They'll also travel India, Discover India programs, as well as spiritual immersion. So we will leverage the beautiful ecosystem, spiritual ecosystem of Auroville, which is present at Auronya. Physical abilities will be very important in the future. Manual dexterity, hand-eye combination. We'll be using cutting-edge technologies such as drone flying, virtual reality, astronaut simulation. In fact, later in the presentation, we'll be showcasing our postgraduate diploma program, Antariksh. Postgraduate diploma programs, the first one starting in 2017 October, and we will go into that a bit later. Department of Executive Education will look at self-discovery labs, social skills, critical and creative skills, industry skills. We'll create short programs for the industries and the corporate bodies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. India is poised to the cusp of a digital revolution that has evolved from a mere functional tool to MBA with nearly 23 years of experience across office, automation industry, and retail banking.
HDFC Bank has been a pioneer in introducing digital innovation in the banking sector. Today, we proudly unveil yet another milestone in the history of Indian banking. Welcome to HDFC Bank. In our efforts to drive digital innovation in our banking services, we are today introducing a new age technology. Would you like to take a guess what it could be?
How about technology that gets me a loan in a few seconds?
If I could do something with my smartwatch, like make transactions.
Okay. What else could it be?
Schedule payment every month for my kids.
Is it possible to pay all fees through an app?
Do you think you can give me a loan and 5 seconds.
Well, I'm a writer working at home.
Okay.
So would it be possible for the technology to come home?
HDFC Bank already has introduced these digital innovations. So how about we go inside and find out what surprise HDFC Bank has in store for us?
Yeah, let's do that.
Sure. Let's go.
May I help you?
Our fully humanoid era is capable of vocal interactions.
We proceed to counter number 10 for fixed deposit. It's been a pleasure helping you.
Contemporary design and human form makes era smart and friendly. Choose the banking service you require or make any number of requests. Era will always be there to guide you.
Select the Take Me There button so I can guide you there. Please follow me.
Its state-of-the-art motion sensor technology will lead you to the right service counter.
You have arrived at your destination.
The surprise that we have unveiled today is not just a humanoid. It's a major milestone in India's banking sector. With artificial intelligence and free mobility, HDFC Bank's era is the next step in digital banking.
Mr. Nitin Chugh on stage, please.
Thank you very much, and thank you indeed to give me this chance to speak to all of you, such a distinguished audience. I'm particularly happy to be speaking in front of Dr. Indira Parekh, who's I've been a student of, even though briefly, so really honored to be speaking in front of you, ma'am. This is just a demonstrator for us, really what we've shown you on the video. We launched this in the month of January. It's in a branch in Mumbai right now. But what we're really doing in the space of banking is a lot of work around artificial intelligence. We did connect up with Auronya, and we exchanged quite a few interesting discussion points around artificial intelligence, robotics, virtual reality, augmented reality. We are experimenting with most of these concepts, and we do believe that with the digital exhaust or digital trail or digital footprint that people are leaving behind with all the interactions and everything else that's happening, there is potential to make sense of that information, build that into some good cognitive capabilities, and introduce those as solutions for people for solving the day-to-day problems to do with financial services. And that's where this whole space of artificial intelligence becomes very important, because while humans can do that, no doubt about it, but it's probably going to take much longer and many more people to do that. So one of the things that we did immediately after ERA was another bot called EVA. And EVA is not a humanoid, EVA is a chatbot. And EVA can concurrently handle about 1,500 sessions of text chat, which physically would have meant that you would have needed 1,500 people. So while this is a very hot debate that are technologies like these going to take away jobs, but we are really looking at technologies like these as assisting existing people, augmenting the skills of people. And just to touch the chord on how an institute like Auronya is going to be preparing students, we find that even on the professional side, when we deal with employees, we have to skill them very much to be prepared for the kind of needs that the customers are going to have in future. So for example, we have a very active program going on right now called Internal Social Collaboration. I was keenly watching the mention to the think spaces that you mentioned, something on those lines, Anuj, and the things about collaborating and getting people to work together. Now the new methodology of working in corporates is really the Agile framework. And Agile is about cross-functional, multidisciplinary group of people coming together and solving a problem without having any issues about what their levels are, what their experience is, and what their designations are. So now that kind of a methodology is the norm right now, and all the Silicon Valley companies and a lot of companies in India follow that. But for traditional companies, and we are not a traditional company because we are only a 22-year-old bank, it's a difficult thing to adopt. What do you tell a general manager of a company when he has to work with a 22-year-old on something which is going to be relevant for the next 2 years. It's going to be very difficult. But those are the new norms, and that's why we believe that creating those kind of right workspaces, the right kind of tools, the right kind of assistive technologies, and the right environment is important for people to be able to also deliver the kind of things that the next generation is getting prepared for through an education system like Auronya. Because when people come out to work, and if they have a mindset of, which they have been through a college like Auronya, I'm sure they would expect the corporate that they go to or any other industry that they would like to work, or even if they decide to start off on their own and they want to innovate and disrupt, I'm sure they would not like to deal with people who are still very hard-nosed and believe in the old ways of, level-based functioning. So I think, more importantly, for the good of the society itself, those notions of levels, the divisions, the divides, which are based on probably age, experience, etc., those have to also go away, and which I think education systems like these are certainly going to solve. And I can say for sure, after going through all the fascinating presentations here, it is really mind-blowing. And I have a 10-year-old daughter, and I would certainly like her to come to Auronya when she grows up. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing the challenges that we face in introducing digital banking. We will be remembered only if we give to our younger generation a prosperous and safe India, resulting out of economic prosperity coupled with civilizational heritage.